Lang. Oh, Lang, we look really good together today. All blued out.
Yeah. I can't tell. I'm just looking at the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm straight.
The NBA draft lottery is this week.
Yep.
Which is really fun because teams get the chance to make their team better, get some cool picks. We get to see what's going on. So it got us thinking, as it always does, Lang. What are some of the worst drafts in NBA history?
There have been a lot of good lottery picks.
Really good ones.
There have been some bad ones, too.
There have been some bad ones.
Some terrible ones, some bad ones.
Some very, very
some that aren't
bad ones.
Okay.
The meh ones aren't fun to talk about, though.
I do think there's certain guys who always get thrown in this category that I don't agree with them being in this category.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A player such as Darko Milicic, a player like Kwame Brown, guys who maybe they got drafted higher than they should have been drafted, but they still had a long career in the NBA and made a lot of money and did fine for themselves.
Here we go.
So certain guys I don't like. My guys are more guys who were drafted too high, but also just couldn't figure out how to make it work in the NBA.
Mine are a little bit of a mix, I would say.
I'll start. For my third one, I have Dante Exum. He was drafted 5th overall, 2014 draft. Was in the NBA for a couple of years and has been over in Europe now for a while. Never really, everybody was like, oh, this guy's going to be the tall point guard position, changing everything, and just never did it.
My number 3 is a little bit similar. And I hate to say this because he is a fellow countryman, but Anthony Bennett.
Oh, he's way higher on my list.
2013, went to Cleveland. You'll talk about it more, but in that draft, you could have had Victor Oladipo, CJ McCollum, Steven Adams, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Rudy Gay. Like, the list could go on. He went number 1. Where is he now?
Yeah. Well, my number 2 was from the 2011 draft, 10th overall pick, Jimmer Fredette. Now, I don't know if you remember Jimmer Mania when he was at BYU. He was a small shooting guard, but could shoot it very well. But he got to the NBA, and Sacramento Kings ended up with him. He was sort of not big enough to be a shooting guard, not small enough or good enough dribbler to be a point guard, and didn't last very long. One pick after him, Klay Thompson.
Clay.
So Jimmer Mania was my
How many rings does Clay have again?
He'll tell us. He'll count it off.
My number 2. I think maybe Memphis won't be too happy about this. Hashim Thabit. Thabit.
Yeah.
How do you say his last name?
Hashim Thabit.
No, it doesn't spell it like that. Anyway, he went number 2 in 2009. Number 1 was Blake Griffin in that draft that you could have had, potentially, Steph Curry, DeMar DeRozan, James Harden. And you didn't get him.
Yeah. My number 1,
you got Hashim.
like you mentioned, Anthony Bennett.
Shout out Canada.
First pick in the 2013 draft, and that was a weird
Man,
draft.
Canada was so proud of him, too. Like, we were so hyped.
But, even at the time when he was drafted number 1 by the Cavs, people were like, wait, oh.
Not us. We were all like, yeah, Anthony.
I mean, he played at UNLV and, was kind of off the radar anyway, and then it happened, and he tried, bounced around the NBA a little bit. I think was in the G League for a while in Europe, and just never really clicked.
Yeah. Okay, so
number 1?
My number 1, I feel like you're not going to be happy with because you mentioned the long careers, but I'm going to go with Sam Bowie.
Okay.
Simply because this was 1984 and he was in front of MJ. I think just the what ifs of he had a 10-year career, but you could have had MJ. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think he's necessarily
the problem with
best.
the only thing I have against Sam Bowie is that injuries were kind of to blame for
Fair
him.
enough.
Same with Greg Oden over Kevin Durant.
And that happened to the same team.
Yeah, I know, but it's still with those guys you can't really fault the team for the players having injury problems.
But
except Sam Bowie had injury problems at Kentucky when he was in college. So
I guess the only reason I'm blaming the team, I guess, saying this is a bad draft pick is simply because you could have had MJ. That could have been anyone. That could have been, I don't know, name whoever, but you could have had MJ.
You could have.
And that's the only reason I think that's a bad draft pick.
Yeah. All right.
We want to know yours. There's a lot we could talk about, and maybe we'll get to good drafts as well. But this is a little more spicy and fun. So let us know in the comments below who you guys think are some bad draft picks over the years. And we'll see you guys next week on IMHO.